All right, class, welcome back again. All of you, take out your laptops. There was some Excel which was shared with you all today in the afternoon. So have that, data open
Guys, there you can see the point of Gian possibility.
called tutorial data.
Yes.
Just open it. Right. So let's start. Just raise your hands if your Excel is open. And you have 4 sheets in that, right? Okay. So just minimize this. Look at the screen. We'll do a few numericals and then we'll go back to that raw data. Okay. Now, yesterday's class, like when we were having this tutorial one, we were looking at calculation of, do you remember what we were doing yesterday? Sorry? Calculation of what? MIC and, huh, and yes, with the ZOI, with the ZOI zone of inhibition data in we went ahead, we referenced it with the CLSI and EUCAST, and then we saw whether it is resistant or susceptible or intermediate. So these three kind of data we got. Let's do 2 or 3 numericals based on which, and then we'll come to this raw data which we have in hand. Okay. So look at the screens, all of you. Here we have an example. Look at the screens. Calculating percentage resistance for a single antibiotic. So in this case, what we have here is in a hospital study. This is not from your Excel. This is on the screen here. So there are 100 isolates of E. coli which were tested against ampicillin. All right. And out of these 60 isolates were found to be resistant. Okay. 25 were intermediate and 15 were sensitive. So by now you know where such a data is coming, how I could fractionate it into this 60, 25, 15. You must have got an idea of which particular standard I have referenced and how I went by. Now the question is, calculate the percentage resistance to ampicillin. Calculate the percentage resistance of E. coli to ampicillin. How would you do that? 60%? Well, if you get straightforward, okay, good. Now let's see the next. This is another example putting the same thing. Here we have a hospital lab report in which out of 120 tested isolates, 65 showed MIC greater than 2 microgram per ml for a particular antibiotic. The cutoff, the CLSI cutoff is also given. It is MIC greater than 2 microgram per liter is a cutoff. What is the percentage of resistant isolates? How much? 54, I get an answer. Any other answer?
Twice.
54 point?
Okay, we're going to 1/6. Let's take switching.
That's okay. We are good. So most of all of you got 54? Yes. Yes? Just by looking at the number, so it is 65 divided by 120, we're getting the percentage of that. So let's do another example. In a hospital study, 40 isolates of E. coli were tested against ampicillin, of which 18 were resistant, 8 were intermediate, and 4. Can you calculate the percentage resistance? Yes. 45. This is also straightforward answer. Now, so all these examples were an example wherein we took one isolate, testing it with one antibiotic. Like, if I have a case in which there is multi-drug resistance, that means there is one isolate here. It's not, so in this example, it is Pseudomonas, but I'm testing the Pseudomonas against 5 different antibiotics. Okay, all right. So of this 30 bugs, of this 30 Pseudomonas, 10 isolates were resistant to all these 5 antibiotic. Okay, 8 resistant to 3 or more antibiotics, and 12 were resistant to 2 or fewer. Find the multi-drug resistant isolates. Find the percentage of isolates having multi-drug. How did you get 60? 60% is an answer I got. I'm not sure it is right. Any other answers? Resistant is if it is greater than or equal to 3 antibiotics. Any other answer? Okay. All right. So we freeze that at 60. All right. But here, this is an example wherein we have taken one bug and testing it against different. Another concept which we have here is what is called as a multiple antibiotic resistance. Okay. Now, MAR index is primarily used to tell us how dangerous or what the lethargy and all that. I mean, how lethal it is. So, an isolate of another bacteria, Klebsiella, is used here. This was tested against 10 antibiotics and found resistant to 6. Okay. Now, we asked to calculate the MAR index. Since you do not know, this is how it is calculated. An MAR index is the number of antibiotics to which the isolate is resistant divided by the total number of antibiotics tested. Okay. And we get a value. So here for this example, it is 0.6 and we have a threshold value. So usually if the MAR is greater than 0.2, we indicate it is a high risk and it is a source of contamination, etc. So usually, so we can have some figures to play around with and we know whether it is highly contaminated or low. So that's kind of a data we get from MAR. Sani, are you okay? Okay. So with this, we finished this, starting all the introduction bit. And so now we'll have all the environmental data with us. So if you are asked to go ahead and calculate the resistant percentage, etc., you can. This was a small set pull. Now we're just graduating into a larger set. That's it. Okay, so all of you open your Excel, which was shared with you. All right. So in the very first sheet, so there are 4 sheets in that Excel. In the first one, so this is how so here we got a sample of 20 samples. That means pretty much, so if you were looking at finding out or checking the AMR for any aquatic body, what this indicates is, let's say in a day or two, we went ahead and did sampling from 40 locations in a day or 2 or 3. Right. And when I'm saying we need basic physicochemical data, most of it, what you can collect from a multi-parameter, you can go ahead and collect it, like things such as DO or temperature, TDS, conductivity, such kind of things. If you have a multi-parameter and it gives the readings then and there, that's the best, because then you would just record it with the GPS data also. And then rest of the things, like obviously BOD, COD and all, you cannot do on site. And then you bring your samples back home and then you get a repository of data. So these are primarily the physicochemical data that we get. This has nothing, so none of this data is having any indication of the resistance pattern. But whenever you do sampling, apart from your usual resistance data and all, it's a good idea to go ahead and get these, because later, if some interesting pattern crops up, okay, you can always go back and check, and then you can see if there is any, if there is any association between any of these parameters, environmental parameters and all that. But good to do this immediately, because like as we saw in yesterday's tutorial, the fastest you do, the better, because then these parameters would change with time. All good here? Now go to your second sheet, which is the zone of inhibition. You have some data there? So here we have, again for the 40 samples, I'm having data for 3 antibiotics. All right. And the associated ZOI value or zone of inhibition values are given there. Okay. And how did we get the ZOI values in mm? How can I get that? So from my samples that I got into the lab, what did I do? Hmm? Drug test. Do I have a name for that drug test? Ha. Microdilution. So you won't get ZOI. You get what? Nay. From the distribution method. From the AST one, from the distribution, you get the zone of inhibition. From microdilution, what do you get? MIC values. Okay. So here you got your zone of inhibition. So you all know what I've done to all these 40 samples and then recorded the associated values for the zone of inhibition. With this ZOI value, what can I do next? So pretty much what I want to do is I want to check if the samples have antimicrobial resistance. So with your existing knowledge, with this ZOI and other things, what do you think can be next possible thing I can do so that I can go ahead? Test what? Sorry.
Give it a 3 parts test as pretty friendly.
Yeah, so we'll check whether it is S, R, or I. Okay, just now go to your next shape, which is resistant percentage.
Hey.
Okay. So conventionally, we do not take that I into consideration. We just go with that S and R. So you know where that S and R has come from, right? You don't need any other data. You have your zone of inhibition data. And what else do you have? What do you reference it against? CLSI or EUCAST. And then you are in a position to go ahead and give that S or R. Clear? Right. Now from here, can you go ahead and calculate the percentage resistance for all of this? For each of these 40 samples, sample 1, 2, 3, 4, can you go ahead and calculate the way? Like when I had given for E. coli and all, you people were enthusiastic, and this, especially Rahul, after tea, he's so enthusiastic. Immediately he gave me all the answers. So similarly, can you now calculate for this data set? Right. If anyone gets it, just let me know. So it's a percentage. I just need the values out there. Just for the first 5, can you work it out and tell me what the percentage is for the first 5? Huh? And are you sure? Yes, you're doing in isolation or both of you are doing together?
Oh, it's like
What did you get, Sunny?
None I isolated lectures. Paragraphs. Red sheet. You like there. So our sad savings.
this week. This thing,
These ones said in the season. During the day show.
I guess you would change plasma bomb.
It's cheating.
We soon. Yeah,
But so paragraphs.
I was sleeping.
He's doing about it. So the very things.
No, we be, but the other was for cons of the town.
Saying it.
Yes, and that's nice about this.
Shit. Last it.
This
How? So just bring up that song then columns what on. Then get that what it is. But it's still how much it is. It's hot splash finish.
me.
Great food. Let's get. Favorite English stanza is Smith. How many I'm going to get anything? That is
Sure, sticky.
saying what the tempting certain. He takes away his is here today.
Sweetie.
Take it. Here it is. You know, yes,
But those much. Expect.
did it.
Seriously, we're in.
Okay. So this is your sample ID. For the first sample ID, this is your first antibiotic.
Yes, sir.
Second, it's Alright. So I've got to calculate the percentage resistance. These two are resistant, this is one. So 2. 1 plus 1, 2 divided by total number of samples is 3. Is 3. The percentage कितना हुआ? How much? Can you calculate the percentage susceptibility also? Is it from you? Can you calculate the percentage susceptibility? Yes. Or the S divided by the total, right? Right? So we can go ahead and calculate the percentage susceptibility also in that way. So most of you have got it right. So this is how your values would look for resistance. Okay, clear? And if required, you can go ahead and calculate the percentage susceptibility also. Now, with this data that you have for this 40 samples with the associated percentage R, can you get any meaningful inferences? Can you think? Like, so for example, for my sample 1, okay, which let's say that I have taken that sample, let's assume from Rosalind Hostel, all right, and I'm testing it for these 3 particular things. So this percentage resistance that you're getting for this particular, for all these samples or something, can you actually go ahead and make any meaningful decisions? For example, if I say, which is for of this 40, which is one which can which is probably a probable hotspot, or of the 3 antibiotics, which is the one which is easily getting, so these bugs are easily getting resistance to. Can you plot something like that on your Excel with these data? You got my point? Like all these 40 samples you got from Dhanbad. So then I'm going to ask you, which location is the one which is alarming, which I should be concerned about? Just do that graph and show me. So plot it like a bar graph and see how you can do. If anyone is having if you can share your laptop with one of those girls, it will be good, because it's difficult to do this thing in the phone. Maybe Archita, you can go and sit with them. Achha, you're already sharing. Rahul, you mind going there? They don't have a laptop there. So could you go with your laptop back? And maybe one of those from back can come in front also. Up, you can come in front. You can use this and let Rahul sit there. Anyone, just come. She's having. Okay. Then you come and sit. Yes. Let me see who gets a plot, some meaningful plot. Like, you all got it correct with the percentage resistance. I'm just keen to know, of this 40 samples, which is causing me a problem, which is like that problematic sample. Yes, class. Any answers? So I want for both location wise and of the 3 antibiotic, which is the one which is easily having resistance. Yeah. Don't look at my screen. Yes, anyone? Yes, sample number which? Rahul? Just take down all that percentage R values and then make a bar diagram and then get the values. Alright? कितना मिला? What's how is it looking? Which is the sample which is of concern?
What?
All with? No. How? Acha, okay. No. So which are those hotspot samples? Sample numbers. So there are a lot here. Actually, you'll have more to do with when we come to the next sheet. But pretty much when you get a sheet like this, um, there's not much of a variation here because we are talking about only 3 samples. So either it will be 66 or 33 or 100. So we don't have much of an option here. But if you go to the next sheet there, no, before we go to the next sheet, can you also calculate amongst these 3 antibiotics, which is the one which is giving the most resistance? So when you come to the bottom of your sheet, total resistance of a particular antibiotic for all the zones. Calculate that also. Like here, vertically, for a particular antibiotic, for for across all the locations, what is the corresponding value for resistance? Do you get my point? From there, you can actually infer which of this antibiotic. That means, is it tetracycline, ampicillin, or ciprofloxacin, which is renting the maximum resistance? Which is it? It's going to be the third one. All right. So here it is few samples, and because we have an option of only 3, you're not getting a good variation. But if you go to the next plot here, you'll be able to do a better, you'll be able to get a better idea. In the next sheet, which is written as heat maps, again you have the 40 samples, but here this is a different data. I'm having 8 different antibiotics data. All right. Okay. And this your 0, 1, 1, 0 and all that, it is indicative of the number of colonies. Okay. Based on which, if you see on the right side, you got your values for SR, that is resistant, this thing. Because in the lab, when you actually go ahead and check, then more number of colonies, that means it is more resistant. Based on which you got your values for SR and all that. Is that clear? Both the sets. This is not the same data as your third sheet. This is a separate data. All right. Here again, can you go ahead and calculate the values of, percentage resistance and total R and all? Do that. Calculate the total R first. For percentage resistance here, you would require the total R. Can you put a formula in the Excel and do? Equal to count. If it is R, then that takes as a count. Okay. Equal to count if, and under quotes you put it as R. See here. Okay. Between all the 8 rows, if it is R, then that takes as a count. Alright. So for all the samples, so I'm just getting a total value of R. So now, can you calculate the associated percentage resistance? Pranjal, you okay with this 5 that I've shown here? In your sheet, is it reflecting? No. Because what I want to do with the second sheet is to calculate the percentage resistance. For percentage resistance, I would need to know total R divided by the total number of samples. So here, because there it was easy, it was just 3. Now it is 8. You could come with a situation where it is 20. Then it may not be manual possible for us to go ahead and count all the R's. So you would just put a formula like so. Okay, equal to, just give the range of those columns, and if R, then it takes that as a count. Okay, and then just drag this whole thing. So once you're done here, just drag this throughout the entire sheet. You'll get all the values. Okay, from here, can you go ahead and calculate the percentage resistance? Anyone having a doubt, just look at the board. Have we calculated the value of R? So equal to, this is your total R divided by 8, okay, into 100. So from here you get the percentage R. Just copy this formula throughout. So for, if you look at your sample number 39, are there any R there? All are susceptible. So your total count of R is 0 and the percentage R is coming as 0%. Are you with me? You okay? You understanding? Okay. So this is fairly giving us an idea about the resistance pattern. We can depict the same thing in terms of heat maps also. Okay. When it is heat map, what you do? So all of you okay, whole class? Okay, this column U, which was nothing but the percentage resistance, similar to what we have done there. It was 3 sample, it is 8 sample. Okay. Now we are going to represent the same data, that was what data we had in our first column, in terms of a heat map. So it will look something like this. Alright. So what you do is go ahead and select the entire data which is there on the top. Just look how it is being done. I'm going to select all the 40 sample data. Go ahead and paste it. Right. Then eliminate, do not include the sample ID and all that. Okay. I just pasted and I pasted that first data again. Then removing that thing, I'm just going to take the raw data of the number of counts for each of this. Alright, just do it. Shall we proceed? Then in the home, you have what is called as conditional formatting. Click that. Select any of the color shades of your liking. It could be, you could go with any like either such first one, or it could be in more of green, red, whatever, whichever is of your liking. You can go ahead and give a shade like this. Right. So this also indicates, it's another way of representing the in a heat map, which is the one which is going to give more values for, or more data for the resistance patterns and all that. Yeah. So you would see such kind of things in most of publications also. You can either remove that 0, 1, or these days they even retain that particular thing also. All right. From here, you can also go ahead and calculate what is called as an ARI index. This is also very important. So class, all of you, have you understood this thing? Heat map. Okay. Just go ahead and copy the same data. Please do not include the sample ID, this one and all that. Just starting from the first data, take the whole thing and then go to the home page. Here you would go to conditional formatting. You would go to the color scales. Whichever scale of your liking, you would go select that. And then it's just a different way of representing your samples. Okay. This looks really, quite small and not very indicative. But when I'm getting about 100, 200 samples, because when I go ahead and do a real-time sampling, I'm actually talking about 200, 300 sample. Then it gives me a very good idea of which are those zones. And also I can have an idea about which are those um, antibiotics. So visually it is even easier for me to delineate and make an inference. Okay. Apart from this, if you go up, so here also what I've shown is pretty much the same thing. You have one more indicator you can calculate, index, which is called as ARI, standing for antibiotic resistance index. You can calculate that also. Go ahead and calculate that ARI also. You know how you calculate the antibiotic ARI data is, you have the total R with you, right? That value of R divided by the total number of antibiotics. It means 5 by 8. For the second one, it would be 4 by 8. Okay. Total number of resistance samples divided by the total number of antibiotics. Sania, confusing? Okay. This second data, are you clear with this? You got a count of total R. Did you put that formula and you got a total count? Yes. From here, did you calculate the percentage R? हाँ वो कर लो. First do that and then we can see. Yes, class. Everyone got this R, total R, from which all of you. So anyone not getting, please raise your hands. I'll come and help you with it. Okay. Okay. Total R is in your second case. For the first example, how many are you have changed? Your data is wrong. You have changed the data, right? Yes. There were 5 hours in the first one. Just close and then start it again. I mean, download it again. Because in the first one, I remember it was 5. You have done something wrong. Which sheet is this? So yeah. So total R is 2. Out of sample is 3. So 2 by 3 into 100. Total R you got the resistance. Now where are you stuck? For all of them. Okay. Okay. You come here. This is better. इसको increase the font size. These are all the 8 samples, right? Total R you got. Here, go ahead and calculate the total R percentage. Also, calculate the ARA index, which is 5 divided by 8 is your total sample into 100. Okay. Then once you get that, okay, you just go ahead and calculate the percentage that you can do, right? 5 by 8. So put a formula and so equal to this divided by 8 into 100. Once you do that, I'll tell you how to make that graph. Akash, you okay? What happened? Right. Here, yeah, if you just take one sample at a time. Yeah. So if we come here, total R mein I want to see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That means when I went to sample, let's say आप कौन सी हॉस्टल से रोजेलिन तो नहीं हो आप कौन सी हॉस्टल हाँ टोपाज so suppose topaz sample say I have taken one sample from your drinking water and I checked for all these 8 antibiotics. Okay, it was resistant to ampicillin, it was resistant to the second one, to all this, but sensitive to this, means all of them killed. Now I'm going to calculate how many antibiotics, like sample is just one, but I tried it with 8 different antibiotics. So you're checking for how many antibiotics I got resistance. So that is 5. Usme instead of going ahead and calculating like this, just put a formula equal to then count F. count if and under quotes are ये कर लो तो 5 because here it is still manually you're able to do, but if you have yes perfect वो कैसे किया 5 divided by 8 into 100 correct हाँ then ARI mRNA, it's called ARI, antibiotic resistance index. Okay, that is your R value divided total samples by the total sample. You okay? Get stuck here. That data was wrong, right? Count F under quotes put R and close the semicolon and enter. There's some different. I'll just show it again. You can see it on the screen. Pranjal, have a look. Give the entire range, your Roca range, and then under semicolons you put that R. And you were asking me about ARI, right? Akash, you were asking about ARI is nothing but your total number of R, which is here 5, divided by total samples. Okay. For your percentage R, you're doing the same thing into 100. Okay. So here, if the percentage is 62.5, ARI is 0.625. That's it. Okay. So this is pretty much how most of the people represent samples in in the literature when they do the sampling. You can do much more than that. See, so like I'm having this 40 samples and I'm having data for 8 different antibiotics. You might be curious. Now you can probably do a bar graph and check out of this 40 samples which is an alarmic sample. Here you'll get some variation. Earlier case you were not getting. Here if you see, there is 12.5, there is 100, there is 0, so there is a huge variation. Have a look, just let me know what answer you're getting. Did you get what I'm asking? A plot in which between these 40 samples, which is the sample which is having maximum. So I wanted it like a bar representation with percentage resistance. Anyone able to do, just raise your hands, I'll come and have a look. Done? For all 40 samples. Yes, very good. Yes. Also, can you tell me, this is for all the 40 samples. So this itself is indicative. This is not percentage. What is your y-axis?
Look, yeah. So they,
But typically we go with percentage. Do the same thing. Do a similar exercise and tell which of these 8 antibiotics is having the maximum maximum resistance pattern. Okay. So you would do sampling. Let's say you're getting 50 samples or 40 samples or 30 samples. Try to squeeze out and get the maximum available information from that. That's the whole point of thing. So what your your heat map, your percentage resistance, your ARI, everything is pretty much coming from the same data, just representing it differently. Okay. So like he just showed me one case in which there's a plot out of 40 which is having the maximum. You can also make a plot based on your antibiotics, okay, across all the samples. So which is the antibiotic of concern? Yeah. Yes, correct. So that's pretty much how you would go ahead and make interpretations and data. Okay. Any more doubts you have in this? Yeah. मैं देख लें. Yeah. Sanya, what happened? आपका हो गया? You got your R. Very good. This is our percentage कर लो. That is, you give a formula here also equal to count नहीं देना है. No, this is not count. This is equal to 5 is your total count. What is the total number of antibiotic? 8. Okay. So it will be equal to ऐसे equal to this divided by type करो divided by 8. No, /8 into 100. Yeah. Enter. Okay, 62.5. Then you can just drag it and you'll get. So your percentage R is there. Okay. Now what I wanted is, you're having 8 samples. No, sorry, 40 samples. So my question is, of this 40 samples, which is showing the maximum resistance? So just somewhere else, just copy paste this data, copy paste your percentage R, and represent in no, not all these things, only this and this. No, only the sample IDs and percentage R. So that is for all the antibiotics you got? Yes. Akash, you got the percentage? Ah. Copy with against. Yes. Right. Now these two, make this as your x-axis and a percentage R as the y-axis, and make a bar graph. You got it? Yes, wonderful. Cool. This is what we wanted to see. And what is your maximum percentage on the y-axis? तो उसको zoom कर दो. Just make that, हाँ, correct. 1. So 100 is the maximum value that you got. Yeah, good. So, so when you represent it like this, just by seeing from far, you know which are those samples which is having a problem. Now, this is for your 40 samples. Do similar thing for your 8 antibiotics. Okay, so for sample 1 to 40, which of this antibiotic is of most concern? इसमें आपको पता चले कि which of the region. Now I want to know which of the antibiotic is that. So you will get a similar thing, but only you will be having to. Now you went row wise, right? You go column wise and you get it. Yeah, good. You're not doing the assignment? All right, class. So, did you get an idea of how we deal with data? We just took an example of zone of inhibition, but we could do similar things taking the MIC data also. Suppose you did not do the zone of inhibition and you're more comfortable with MIC, you can go ahead with MIC data also. Okay. And, but the depiction, the representation of samples and all is pretty much similar. All right. So if you have any questions, you're free to ask, or else we can wind up. Confident? I think all of you should go with all, at least those two. Heat maps you all got? Heat maps associated ARI value? Yes, good. Then when it comes to this third, for your heat map, for this data, for the 40 samples with 8 antibiotic, you should have 2 bar graphs also. One for all the 40 samples, second one for 8 antibiotics. That's it. If you don't have any doubts, can you end the session? If you have a doubt, you can ask me. Okay. All right. Thank you.